on the right against Christopher Juliano. He's on the left. Now, I don't know if he's going to play or draw here. We'll find out soon enough. Tom won the die roll and chose to be on the draw again, so it looks like Christopher's going to keep. We'll see if Tom will as well. And I know that we've got Bradley Carpenter, Ely Cassis, looks like Lance Austin, Kevin Kelly. Looks like these players are all good to go in the top 8 here this evening. So congratulations to them. We got to find out who the rest is going to be. John Cuvier, Christopher Juliano, Tom Ross, Michael Major, Jacob Ball, David Scharfman. All very much in play here, along with the great name, Dorian Finn.
Playing Merfolk.
Yes. Looks like the boss, T. Ross, going to take a mulligan here at this stage. So we'll see if he can find a hand that he likes.
So yeah, currently 16 players with a record of X3 or better. Charles Gindy, second worst breakers of the bunch here.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he can get in. Tom is going to scry to the top. Juliano will begin things, and he will start with the Goblin Guy. Top card. Dismember. Yikes. A necessary evil in this matchup, perhaps. Inquisition of Kozilek. Ooh.
That's a hand. That is a hand right there.
Searing Blaze, double Lightning Bolt, double Eidolon. No.
I momentarily thought
land.
that Searing Blaze was land number 2. And
No,
I was
it's
going to say,
not.
oh man.
No land for Juliano right now. But you said it. That's a hand. Yeah, I think got to take an Eidolon here.
You could also say I can't beat land number 2 on turn 2 anyway, so I'll take the Lightning Bolt.
Well,
But
Monastery Swiftspear. Pretty good draw. Trigger, Liliana the Veil. You know what would be good right now? Smallpox.
Smallpox would be pretty sweet. You know, a card I had in my Legacy sideboard for a little while for this kind of matchup.
What's that?
Guerrilla Tactics.
Bad card. Goblin Guide. Jeez. I'm getting tough. Trigger. Yeah.
Gotta say, love playing burn where when I'm attacking with Goblin Guides and my opponent's reveals are Dismember, Liliana the Veil, Thoughtseize.
Goodness.
We both get to share the joy together.
Yeah.
If your bad draw steps.
Dismember is going to be paid for with a little bit of Phyrexian mana, not the full amount. So Tom's going to take 2, 4, 5 here. Going to draw a Thoughtseize. Oh, now he's working his way out of this one. He's getting beat up right now.
Keep in mind, Juliano's still with 2 Lightning Bolts left over in hand.
And a Lava Spike. Those are all over there. And that Eidolon in case he ever draws another land. What's this? Liliana. Tick down. See you later. Pass the turn back. Juliano. Second land's probably game over. That does not appear to be a second land. Huh. Goblin Guide, where's it going?
I'm assuming it's just going at Tom here because a plus on Liliana is not worth a whole lot. The next turn with Juliano having a dead or close to it Searing Blaze in hand.
Well, Liliana is the reveal. Tom will be drawing that here in just a moment. Draw. He'll plus. Going to discard here in just a moment. Flames of the Bloodhand and Thoughtseize are the discards for each player.
Really defining the terms of engagement there.
Yeah. There's Liliana. Going to go down. Goblin Guy dead. Juliano going to bolt Tom. Down to 5 goes Raw. Second land is game over here, folks. Does he find one? Suspend Riftbolt is pretty close. Pretty close to game over now. Draw a card, Will Ross. It's a Swamp. Yep, that's going to do it. Christopher Juliano's going to win game number 1 here over Tom Ross. Burn very quickly up a game here over the old 8-rack. Sideboard time. 2 Waste Not, 1 Night Soul's Betrayal, 2 Deathmark, 2 Disfigure. A Leyline of the Void, a Flaying Tendrils, 2 Relic Regenerus, 2 Asylum Visitor, and 2 Death Shadow. Now, the last one, Death Shadow, certainly coming in.
Great for this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
It's a way for Ross to steal games in weird spots, increase his clock a little bit. He needs to shorten the length of the game, ideally. The 2 copies of Disfigure also seem solid here. Probably a pretty big upgrade over the Thoughtseizes and Dismembers and so forth in the deck.
On the other side of things here for Christopher Juliano, 3 Deflecting Palm, 2 Ensnaring Bridge, 2 Wear Tear, 2 Path to Exile, 2 Searing Blood, 2 Lightning Helix, and then 2 Smash Smithereens. Does he really need anything for this matchup?
Same 60. I'm shuffling up the same 60. Now, Juliano, because he has the Searing Blazes, and they're not very good in this matchup, and Tom does have enough artifacts and enchantments where you could probably talk yourself into some mixture of Wear Tear and Smash the Smithereens. That could be an upgrade. I can buy that.
Okay.
Probably over the Searing Blazes. But I'm looking at Sideboard very light here. Sideboard doesn't offer a whole lot, and he just wants to make sure the top of his deck is saturated with as much burn spells as possible, because if Tom's doing his thing, Juliano is going to be in a spot where he's empty-handed, and it's very important that the top of his deck yields burn spells as much as possible.
Okay. Don't want to get too fancy here, I suppose.
No, easy to over sideboard for this kind of matchup, and his main deck is already pretty solid here. I wouldn't want to sideboard that much, except it's worth questioning the Searing Blazes because Tom just doesn't have a whole lot of targets.
Well, there are the options there for each player, and we will be underway here in Game Number 2 in just a moment. As Christopher Juliano very quickly up a game over Tom Ross. Remember, our backup match is going to involve Michael Majors, I believe, so hopefully we'll have some time to jump that way against Jacob Ball. But for now, let's talk about the very popular promotion at StarCityGames.com. Game night for September. Get yourself a little play on Stone Hoover Giant. It's a Bone Hoover Giant.
Head over to go.starcitygames.com/game night for more information about game night and find the game night closest to you. Every month we generate new kits with pins and tokens we send out to the stores. Stores can then run game night however they want to and distribute the tokens to the players at the store. Any format they want, any day of the week. Just get players in the store on a regular basis for some fun and friendly magic. This is a September kit you're playing for right now. We have the next couple kits coming down the pipeline. In October, Hedgehog, and in November, Mole Warden. Again, go over to go.starcitygames.com/game night to get more information and find the game night closest to you. Stores, if you want to get signed up for game night, contact your Star City Games in-store play representative.
Getting ready here for game number 2. Learning a little bit more about Christopher Juliano, the player that's currently up a game right now. Kind of a younger guy from the New York area, but he's made the trip down here from New York. Is the 24-year-old with 1 open top 8, looking to get number 2 here. Now, he had a great start to this tournament. Started 10-0. Picked up a couple losses, 3 of them to be exact. All of a sudden, his back's against the wall. He picked up a win last round. He's 11-3, looking to be 12-3, which will get him in the top 8 here. He's trying to do it with Burn, a different build of Burn. No green, which means no Atarka's Command and no Destructive Revelry. He's just red-white this weekend and decided to sleeve up Flames of the Blood Hand, which apparently has been pretty good for him this weekend.
Very good, assuming that you're playing against the more of the Jund Obzon Jeskai metagame. Not great against Affinity, Infect, and so forth. And 3 mana is a lot for this deck. But if you're expecting a metagame like we saw at the World Championships, I think Juliano's build of the deck is very solid.
It's certainly a different one, as you did mention. Tom's on the draw again.
Beautiful.
Not going to change things now.
No.
It's gotten him to 11-3.
We've come this far.
That's right. Not going to shake anything up, which I totally respect. Does Juliano have a hand that he likes?
It is so hard to mulligan with Burn, and it is so hard to mulligan against 8-rack. Multiply that together, and I think Juliano needs to keep any functional hand. He can't be too picky here. The hand that he kept in game number 1 there on the play there with 1 mana, a Goblin Guide, and a lot of 2-mana spells, I'll keep that every single time against a deck like Tom's.
Yeah.
Mulligans are too risky with Burn to begin with, and then magnified by the fact that Tom's playing with a million discard spells.
Well, Juliano's going to keep. We're going upstairs. Lava Spike you.
Love it.
He's going to give himself a Sacred Foundry, too, to note. Tom's draw for the turn was an Inquisition of Kozilek. Now here's an Urborg, and now there is Inquisition. So let's see what the grip is. Well,
I support this keep.
Okay.
I know this looks bad, and in most matchups this would be a mulligan, but against Tom, I think you got to go to the mat with hands like this.
2 Lightning Helix, a Boros Charm, a Lightning Bolt, and a Flames of the Blood Hand. And the reason you're okay with keeping the hand is just because mulliganing with this deck is just too bad.
Also, this hand could potentially have some dead card advantage coming back the other way if Tom has a lot of creature removal in his hand.
He's going to take Lightning Bolt. The only castable spell for Juliano right now. Let's see what Juliano draws. It's a really good draw step. Land number 2. The rack there for Tom.
The risk with a hand like Juliano's, besides not drawing land number 2, it's very vulnerable to Liliana the Veil, because Liliana being played and just plussing is rough for a hand that's so spell dense. But again, I think Juliano cannot afford to mulligan hands like this in this matchup.
The boss is going to play Funeral Charm, make you discard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There goes the flames of the
Take me back to PT New Orleans.
Here's the rack. Lex Luger has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodstained Myers going to search up just a basic mountain. Juliano going to fall down to 16. We might see a lightning helix here on the end step. Patrick and his funeral charms. The good old days, I think. I'm not sure.
Yep. They were old. I don't know how good they were.
Boros Charm went upstairs to Ross. He fell down to 13. Juliano picked up a copy of Goblin Guide. Does he want to go the creature route now? He's just going to wait. Going to keep working with these burn spells. Ross will draw a card. Picked up a Swamp.
I think Juliano's plan here is to keep the Goblin Guide in hand to discard, since it's probably going to equate to less damage.
Here's Asylum Visitor and now another copy of the rack. So let's take a look at Asylum Visitor. What do you do?
What is this all about?
Yeah. All right, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, you draw a card and you lose a life. It's a 3/1 for 2. So Tom going kind of the creature route, and I think maybe even saying, I dare you to kill my creature, because that's one less spell going to me. Rax will trigger. Now Juliano will draw. And I guess we're getting to the point right now where every land that Juliano draws is actually pretty bad.
Yep.
But he, I believe, has drawn another copy of Lightning Helix. Not entirely sure. Oh, take it back. Arid Mesa to go along with Lightning Helix and Goblin Guide. That's the grip here. Giuliano's really walking a tightrope here because every spell that he plays, he obviously wants to play, but, you know, if you play more spells, the rack starts working in.
And I like Giuliano's line here of just hold the 2 cards back in the hand. He's going to Lightning Helix Tom almost certainly, and probably use the Goblin Guide to discard if he has to. Try to keep his life total a little bit higher against the rack and hope to give himself more draw steps to peel 7 points of damage over the next 3 or 4 turns, however long he happens to have.
Here comes the Asylum Visitor. What comes next? That is the question. Shrieking Affliction. Here's Lightning Helix. Ross will go down to 7. Giuliano back up to 16.
Also, Wear Tear here, if you brought it in, would be a big draw.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad at all. Giuliano did not get a great look at the draw step. Here's Goblin Guide. Attack, Trigger, Mutavaults. Pretty good, actually. Ross down to 5. Giuliano, I don't think wants to play anything, so he's just going to pass. Weird little game here. Raven's Crime, huh?
That's a good one.
Sort of. So Tom wants to empty Giuliano's hand, but not really.
I mean, yeah, it gets him to 4, and then there's some draws.
Yep. All right, Raven's Crime you again. Make you lose a land.
I think that Tom is well served just turning this into a 2-turn game.
Okay. Make him peel.
Yep.
I mean, it's got to be just Boros Charm, I think. There's Mutavault, free to attack. Put it on 11. He takes 9, falls to 2.
Yep.
And, and Tom goes up to.
He's got a fade a draw, but he's got him in 2 turns no matter what otherwise.
Yeah. They're just trying to figure out who draws first between Tom with the Silent Visitor and Giuliano with this. If it's Boros Charm, it's lights out. It does not appear to be Boros Charm. Christopher wants to read a Silent Visitor again. So do we. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, so if it's the beginning of Tom's card, he has no cards in hand, it triggers. But he'll have cards in hand.
Bit of an odd duck.
It's a strange card, is the Vampire Wizard. Not sure what Giuliano drew. He's thinking quite a bit about it, though. See if there's a way out of this weird situation. Nope, there's not. Tom Ross going to tie things up against Christopher Giuliano. 8 rack and burn. Going to play a 3rd one.
These games are good sweats.
They are pretty good.
They're good sweats.
Now, I don't know if things are going to change. So Tom is going right back to the deck box, so maybe he is bringing in something. I'm not sure. I think he just shuffled all 15 in. Well, you said it. They are good sweats. These are interesting games. 8 rack is just something I think that a lot of players haven't played against. So they're just a little unfamiliar about what they're supposed to do. Not saying that Juliano's playing poorly or anything of that nature, because he's not. It's just a weird deck to play against.
No, I really like the line that he took that game of not casting the Goblin Guide, making sure they got the burn spells out of his hand because those were more reliable sources of damage. The Goblin Guide was unlikely to connect a second time. Maybe if Ross puts the shields down, he has an opportunity to hit once the Goblin Guide, that's good. Otherwise, keep it in the hand and discard the discard spells.
Yeah.
So I think Juliano did the best that he could, playing around the rack and the various discard spells that Ross had, but just came up with spells short.
Well, we're going to watch another game here in just a moment. It's getting a little bit interesting between these two. And as I did mention, if we do have time to jump over to another match between Michael Majors and Jacob Ball, we will do that. That's Dredge versus Scape Shift.
Mountains versus Graveyard.
Yeah.
We get to settle once and for all what the more powerful thing is.
That'd be a nice intro box to sell. Just rolls off the tongue.
Right.
Mountains versus Graveyards. Who wants it? Who wants to buy that buy a box?
I'd buy it.
Yeah, I know you would. That's the problem. Snap it right off.
We got one confirmed customer.
Yeah. All right, print it.
Yeah. With Tibalt in both decks.
Tibalt in both decks.
Yeah. Graveyard is Mountain, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be on the play here in just a moment, but we can take a look at the players that are qualified for our Players' Championship right now. Tom Ross is one of them. Christopher Juliano is hoping to get there. Now, during Season 1, Max Aviti did win our first invitational. We were in Columbus, Ohio. Jeff Hoagland was our seasonal points champion, and then Jerry T. and Andrew Tenjum got there as well. Liam Lonergan won our New Jersey Invitational. You had Tom Ross. That was the mustached Tom Ross back then. He shaved that since now. The daddy, Kevin Jones, and Andrew Jessup, they got there. And, of course, the defending champion, Jim Davis. We'll see those 9 and a couple more as well as we round out the invitations. Now we watch game number 3. It's a Goblin Guide here for Christopher Juliano. Remember, he's on the play. And if he was on the draw, Tom Ross would have put him on the play. Urborg into Disfigure. Juliano with an Arid Mesa. Maybe a little surprised to see the Disfigure right away as opposed to waiting to let it attack.
I mean, he doesn't exactly know the nature of Juliano's list, and there's some risk there.
Eidolon. Well, we'll see if he has an answer to this.
Uh-oh.
The way he's doing this, I feel like he's setting up a smallpox. I don't know.
We've seen this before.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can get this Eidolon off the battlefield, he's got a Raven's Crime, a Wrench Mine. He can really strip away Juliano's hand.
Yeah.
The question is, can he keep his life total high enough in the process of doing all of this that Juliano isn't drawing so live off of the top over a long span of time?
Also, here's the question. What kind of game are we playing here? Are we playing a discard and kill you with the rack type game, or are we playing a Death Shadow game?
Yep.
If we're playing a Death Shadow game, then Tom might actually say, I want that Eidolon out there. This is Smallpox. All right. There's your trigger. So Ross going to fall down to 16. I think we can actually make it 15 because of the Smallpox. Both players are going to lose a bit of life. They'll discard a card. They'll sacrifice a creature and sacrifice a land. Boros Charm. It looks like Inquisition. So all the resources have been kind of removed, and now we head back over to Juliano, who will draw. He drew an Eidolon, but now he's got a Swiftspear in. Ross is going to fall down to 14. Let's see how Tom can follow up here. He does have a Mutavault in hand.
I believe Wrench Mine as well.
That's pretty good. He will Wrench the Mind. Now, Wrench Mine you might not be familiar with. It is from Mirrodin. He didn't take it very high in draft, I can tell you that much. But target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand unless he or she discards an artifact card from his or her hand. So if you got an artifact, you can discard that. If not, you're going to have to discard 2 spells.
Though I believe an underrated sideboard card in that draft format.
I believe that's true. So Juliano in a tough spot. It was, this is when they were kind of trying to do analogs to Hymn to Torak, but remove the random discard.
Yep.
And that's what they were kind of doing with this one. We're head back Juliano's way. He kept a Lava Spike. He drew another Swiftspear. Now he's going to come in for 2. Ross is going to fall down at 12. Juliano's doing pretty well for himself right now. Raven's Crime the draw there for Tom Ross.
Almost has turned the corner here.
The question is, Can Ross beat the creatures?
Well, he can Raven's Crime the last card out of Juliano's hand.
Which he has.
And now Juliano, now the Mutavault in theory checks the Swift Spears, but that's obviously dangerous if he makes a block.
Well, here's a Shrieking Affliction, and the race. The race is about to be on. This is going to be a good one, I think.
Yep.
Who can draw better in a spot like this? And they both have some great draws. The draw step, Tom has a Funeral Charm? Did Juliano draw an instant?
If it's Lightning Bolt, it is awesome.
Yep.
If not,
he drew Path to Exile. Okay. Ross going to fall down to 10. He'll draw.
Ross needs one good draw step, or for Juliano to just brick off here for a turn or two and let the Mutavault play defense.
Well, does he want the Mutavault to play defense, or does he want the Mutavault to play offense?
I guess the safer play is to just attack.
I think that's the big question. Does he want to get in here, or does he want to try to turtle up a little bit? Because to me, I think you want to cut as many draw steps as possible. And I think maybe the best way to do that is to play offense, but he's going to D up. Here they come. Boy, he is attacking fast.
Yep, no hesitation there.
Yeah.
But Tom has, the thing about this is that Tom has the Raven's Crime in the graveyard. So in theory, he can take this hit, untap, and then just Raven's Crime the card away and try to set up shop with the Mutavault again next turn.
Okay.
There's also a chance that Juliano is just bluffing, thinking that Tom won't pull the trigger on a block.
That's no bluff. That's a Lightning Bolt. And Tom is down to 3 now, and there's a lot of cards to kill him now. Boy, oh boy.
Some good sweats.
Yeah.
You got some good sweats here.
Now the question is, did Tom miss out on 2 points of damage? Should he have attacked? Tough to say.
Well, the problem, he has an incentive with the Shrieking Affliction in play and Juliano at 12 to just hold tight for 4 turns because he just chips away that way. The Mutavault has to hit several times for it to increase the clock.
Oh, no. He attacked with Mutavault. And now is he going to play Asylum Visitor? Yes. All right, so now Tom goes down to 2?
I mean, everything kills him anyway.
Yeah.
Anything that's castable kills him anyway.
Very true.
But it means the Mutavault plus the Shrieking Affliction trigger kills Juliano next turn, assuming that Juliano misses.
All right, Juliano drew a land.
Whew.
Well, okay, if he doesn't attack with any of the, if he doesn't attack with the Swift Spears and just plays defense, what's going on then?
Shrieking Affliction triggers.
He goes down to 1.
Right. And then Tom can fire up the Mutavault, and that forces basically a trade and a chump.
Yep. But that gives Juliano another turn.
Right.
To peel out. Oh, but Tom has the rack in hand. Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he might as well just fire up here. He would have died to a spell anyway, so he's got to assume Juliano's on nothing.
All right, so those are the blocks. There are the trades. And now he plays 2 copies of the rack. And Juliano is going to lose this game.
Ooh.
Tom Ross is going to win this match here over Christopher Juliano. 2-1. And it's 8 rack into the elimination rounds. Unbelievable.
Hard to be disappointed with watching that game.